Alrighty, episode 2 on the podcast. Why you should be setting goals, why I should be setting goals, and why we all should probably be setting goals. Alrighty, jumping right in. What are goals and why should you be setting them? Well, let's start with a direct look at the definition of a goal. A goal is the object of a person's ambition or effort toward an aim or desired result. One of the things you begin to notice when you have friends or family members who say, oh yeah, I'm super competitive, when challenging somebody else at something, because they like winning, like a lot of us do. But sometimes you don't see that ambition to win and overcome reflected back into the lives of those people. Onto themselves. So when it comes to goal setting, we can ask the questions of what are the types of goals that you can set for yourself to best achieve your desired outcome, and how do goals help us grow as people, and why having goals actually helps narrow down what you want out of life. Starting with bullet number 1, the types of goals you can set for yourself to best achieve your outcome. Let's take a look at your day-to-day. Now, I'm not sure what happens in everybody's daily life, but I guarantee if I walked up to you and I said, hey Zach, what do you want out of life? Or, hey Jay, where do you see yourself in 3 years? We all would be able to contemplate a reasonable answer to that question. Whether that be, I want to make $10,000 more in my career, or I want to have read 100 books by the end of the year. I come back after 3 years and I ask the same question. Jay, did you accomplish these goals? Jay looks at me dead in the eye and says, man, I wanted to complete those goals, but they were so far into the future, and I kept putting them off day by day till I ran out of time. The problem with people not accomplishing their aspirations has nothing to do with a lack of motivation, but everything to do with the lack of a system to help them achieve that goal. I'm going to say that one more time just for y'all. The problem with people not accomplishing their aspirations has nothing to do with a lack of motivation, but everything to do with a lack of a system to help achieve that goal. Leading into point number 1, luckily, we have different types of goals that can make the journey of, completing a long-term goal set, seem almost exciting. Now, there's 3 different types of goals, and I'm sure you can Google all different types of information about this. But today we are going from my way of doing it. So you have weekly goals, you have monthly goals, and you have yearly goals. I mean, it seems simple enough, right? Well, let's look at an example. So you walk up to me and you say, hey Luke, I want to start an Instagram page for sports. I say, okay, how many followers do you want it to have by, let's say, the end of the year? You look back at me and you say, let's go with 10,000. I sit you down and we get out a piece of paper. Well, there's 365 days in a year. We divide 10,000 by 365 and roughly get 27 followers. So, to accomplish your goal, you have to get 27 followers a day, every day, for the rest of the year. You look at me and you say, well, Luke, sometimes I'm busy, I have work, I like hanging out with my friends, I can't do that every day. I say, okay, let's multiply 27 by 7 days a week, and we get 189. I look back at you and I say, okay, you have to get 189 followers for the next 52 weeks till the end of the year to complete your goal. On your own, when you get home, you get more interested in all this and you multiply 189 by 4, given there's roughly 4 weeks in a month, and you get 756 followers. So you must get 189 followers every week to total 756 followers every month to complete your goal of getting 10,000 followers. Now, some of the decimal points are missing in the equation, so it doesn't come out to 10,000, but I'm not here to bore you with math. By crunching this big number of 10,000 down into little bite-sized pieces every week, You have created a weekly goal that allows you to slowly pursue an annual goal of getting 10,000 followers. With this system in place, you aren't growing it only when you feel inspired or motivated, but it's routine. And at the end of the year, you look back at what you've created. And you've gotten so used to doing this in the day to day that you forgot it was even that big of a goal. Second bullet, how do goals help us grow as people and actually help eliminate the things we don't really want out of life? There's a very common pattern that comes when working towards goals. You set your mind to something, you get excited, you work really hard on it, and then the motivation starts to fade away. You might start to ask yourself, why does it seem like every goal I set, I always fall short of accomplishing it? And maybe you just got lazy. Maybe you just found something better. Or maybe you just never cared about it that much in the first place. You walk up to me and say, Luke, I really want to get my YouTube channel on its feet. This is a huge goal of mine, but it's not working out. I say, okay, what'd you do to help it grow? You tell me, well, I posted a couple videos for about 3 weeks and no one was watching them, so I just kind of stopped. And I was like, well, I think you got no one to blame but yourself. You look back at me and you say, are you kidding me? I poured hours of my day into these videos and editing them. And I really did want my channel to grow. And I said, well, did you tell all your friends and family about your channel? Did you post comments advertising your channel on these other people's videos that have similar genres? Why have you stopped posting videos now? Have you spent time making your channel, look more appealing every day? Have you put any money into your channel? You say back to me, well, that's too much work. I'm not that committed. I just don't have enough time for that. Setting goals is not only important for helping yourself grow in a positive light, but it also helps put aside stuff, you thought you wanted, but, you never truly did. Sometimes we think we need more money when we really need a change of environment or someone to care about, Sometimes we think we want more free time, but what we actually want is work that we can truly, be passionate about. Sometimes we think, we want to be alone, but all we really need is we just, need to be surrounded by more positive people. By chasing goals for better, for worse, it will help show you other things that maybe you didn't even know you needed in your life. So, you convince yourself you want to hold on to this, you want to chase it, you want it so bad when that's at the end of the day not something you need. Look, goals come in many shapes and sizes, from getting your teeth more white to learning how to do a backflip, all the way to dreaming of becoming a millionaire. But at the end of the day, having the drive to complete something you've been wanting to overcome or accomplish is going to allow you to start molding yourself into the best version of yourself. Soon you begin to seek ways of self-improvement and future opportunities because you've seen how successful it was back when you were still chasing the silly miscellaneous goals you started with. I'll end on a couple things you can do to increase the likelihood of you accomplishing that goal you've always wanted. Number one, put the goal in writing. Studies show you are 33% more likely to finish a goal if you write it down on your phone or on a piece of paper. So, if you're chasing a goal and, you're not really sure where it's going, at least try to write that down so, you can take advantage of that statistic. Number two, be specific when writing down your goal. Don't just say, get better grades in school. Try saying something like study for 30 minutes every night, or always do homework before hanging out with friends. This is going to allow you to really do the task at hand rather than generalizing the goal in a category where you aren't really sure, what you need to do to complete that goal. Number three, ask for feedback from others. This is a big one, y'all. If you're trying to be a better singer, ask a friend or parent that won't lie to you. Even if you're really bad, to rate your singing. Or if you're trying to be nicer, ask people around you, your friends, your family, hey, does it seem like, I've been a little more positive, a little more outgoing lately? By doing this, you're accepting outside feedback from others, which is really going to allow you to see things maybe you yourself just couldn't see from that point of view. All of these tips will have you on your way to accomplishing your dreams in no time. I really do think goals are something that are, everybody knows about goals, but I think they're underutilized in today's society because people don't value the importance of, all the many side things goals can do behind the scenes, eliminating things that, maybe you don't need in your life, or developing you into someone who, really has a drive to do more things you've always wanted to pursue in life. But yes, this does conclude this episode about goals on this week's podcast. I thank each and every one of you for joining me, and I hope to see everybody next week.